Alright guys, I just want to talk a little bit today about how I've been feeling and some of the things I've been struggling with lately. So something I've been thinking about a lot is identity. So to put it in perspective, the way I've been thinking about it was how you see yourself, how you class yourself. So when I was a kid, I was me. I was Jake, and I did things that I liked. And those things didn't define who I was. But then as I got older, I got into things like skateboarding, which is something I liked from quite a young age because of like Tony Hawk's games. I just thought it was a cool thing. I just liked doing it. Then I started doing it on a daily basis, hanging out with friends that also like skateboarding. And that sort of became my identity. I was a skateboarder. I no longer thought of myself as Jake. I thought of myself as a skateboarder, if that makes sense. So in that sense, that's what I'm talking about, identity, how you see yourself. And then other things came up. I liked filming from quite an early age, so I thought of myself as someone who likes making videos. And then at some point I started smoking weed, and I thought of myself as a stoner skateboarder who liked making videos. And those things sort of defined who I was. And when I wasn't sure, I was never not sure what I was going to do. After school or on weekends or free time, I was going out skateboarding, hanging out with friends, or I was getting high, really. That's about it. And alongside that, I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, so I thought of myself as like a WoW player. So those was the sort of three things I was doing with my time. And I sort of let those things overtake my life in a way. I sort of hyper-focused on getting better at skateboarding, which to an extent was a good thing, kept me fit and healthy. But it was the sort of thing, if there was no one there to do it with me, I would then just stay at home and play WoW. That was sort of the backup plan. But first and foremost, I wanted to be out there skateboarding. That's how I saw myself. And the thing that sort of triggered me to think about this lately was I was just a bit sort of lost with who I was. Now I'm 31 and I've realised I don't really know who I am. I sort of cling on to those things that I liked or that I sort of identified as growing up, which was skateboarder, someone who likes making videos, and not anymore, but someone who likes drinking and smoking weed. It's something that I sort of look back nostalgically at, and sometimes when I'm bored I do miss it, because a lot of the times these days I feel quite like isolated. I don't really know what to do with myself, and I sort of fall back on those things that I liked, especially making videos. That's something I've always liked doing. And yeah, now I don't have those things that define me. So one thing that I sort of let define me is going to the gym, but that's not who I am. It's just something I like to do. Like fitness and health is something that's very important to me now, but it isn't who I am. But now that I'm 31 now, I think, who am I? What do I like doing? Because something that happened when I stopped drinking and doing those social things, I didn't really have much to do. And especially these days, since if some of you have seen my previous video, about a year ago, I was in the hospital for my ulcerative colitis. And since then, I've been on this routine where I have a set time I go to bed, I wake up in the morning, and that's about it really. I don't do any social stuff at all. I'm very reclusive. I'm usually just on my own, or I'm on Discord speaking to someone. But to a lesser extent these days, I'm just at home, just with myself. And I think, what am I doing? what is the point? You know, I was a filmmaker for a bit. I was making films. We were making mental health films for the NHS, and that was a big part of who I was over the past sort of like 5 years. But just before I went into hospital, that's what I was doing. So that was sort of my identity then. It was making films for the NHS, and it's pretty cool. And that ended. And then I was very lost after that. Yeah, and since then it's been a struggle. I'm like, what do I do? Because I don't have any clients anymore. My motivation sort of just went after that for filmmaking. And now I work in a field that's sort of related to what I did now. I just do a part-time job. I work at a college with, it's called Supported Learning, and I work there helping students. And it's a few, I made quite a few videos about it, and I learned quite a lot about autism and neurodivergence when I was doing the NHS videos. It's something I became quite interested in, and that sort of helped me get the job that I'm in now. But other than that, I work part-time, and then there's time for me to work on making videos, not necessarily for YouTube, but trying to make videos for businesses and that sort of thing, because that's what I like doing. But yeah, it has been a struggle to have motivation. And I've had this like pull of like trying to keep myself healthy since I've been in hospital. So that's why I didn't want to dive into doing it full time, because one, I'd feel like it'd be overwhelming for me. And if I was there full time, I feel like I'd hate the job. I seem to get like that. If I have to go to a workplace all the time, I get sick of it. And part time, it works for me. Like I'm able to get the amount of rest that I need sleeping. I'm not under rested. And I like to focus on my health. So it allows me the time for that. But it does feel like something's missing. And like I said, I don't do any social stuff. It almost feels like I don't have an identity in a way. I mean, I'm Jake, but I don't know what I like to do anymore. Other than going to the gym and working on myself, trying to get in the best shape that I can, like be the best me physically. Yeah, I just don't know what I'm doing in life. And this all sort of came to a head mentally for me when one of my friends asked me, he was like, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? And that was a really difficult question for me, because I thought, my first instinct was I don't know, almost like angry in a way, because it's a question that I don't want to face, because I don't have an answer for it. And there's something I've always struggled with is like thinking about the future, especially where I've got like this inflammatory bowel disease. I find it hard to think about what I'm going to be doing over the next few days. Like lately I've been having quite a bad time. Yeah, look, I've had quite a bit of pain. I've been considering if I should take some days off of work to let myself recover, but I've just been going through it. So health is sort of one of my top priorities, because it's something that has been very bad. So I take that very seriously. So that's why I currently am working part-time. Even though it's not very good money, it's good for me, for my health at the moment. And it's been a sort of stepping stone for me, almost getting back to being something that's useful to society in a way. It's just building blocks at the minute. And now I'm at this point where I'm thinking, what do I do next? And I'm trying to make videos. I've been doing a few videos since I stopped doing NHS videos. But yeah, it's been a bit of a journey really. And I've spent a lot of it at home because I just don't know what I'm doing. And that's what I'm sort of trying to talk about now. It's on my mind. I thought I'd share it with you because I've got this. I do want to make videos, but my last upload, I made this video about the benefits of having a bath, like on your mental health and physically how much it benefits you. And it was a lot of work. I spent like the whole maybe like 2 weeks just like laser focused on it. I'd wake up, I'd edit, and then I'd go to work, come back, edit. It's all I cared about for a bit. And I made that, and it was just so much work that I thought this is sort of unsustainable to do that for YouTube when I've got to try and get some money. Even though I really liked the video, and I thought it was one of the best videos I've ever made for YouTube. I don't really have the motivation to do it again, so I need to do something simple, like maybe just talking about how I feel for now, like just so there's something being uploaded, because I want to work on the channel. That is something I want to do. So it's sort of trying to figure out what I want to do. I've always wanted to do something with YouTube ever since I first saw it. Like, I think I must have been like 15 years ago now, something like that. I used to watch a lot of YouTube. I mean, I still watch YouTube daily. I've been a daily YouTube user since, I mean, it must have been like 2007 I started watching YouTube, something like that. So I've got an old channel. I can, if you search Sif Jake, it'll come up with my old channel. One of my first YouTube channels. Yeah, I just like the Sif from Star Wars, so I thought that was cool back then, but I mean, I still think it's cool now. But yeah, so I guess that is something I want to work on in the future. And I just want to be more like financially stable, but in a way that I'm healthy. Because that's one of my priorities, is making sure I feel good. But yeah, it's trying to find some people I can talk to. I did get some people join my Discord after I made some of the other videos, and that was cool. I like that. It's nice to have a couple of people on there that I can message. And I guess I just like that more going forward, sort of that community feeling of just some people that I can talk to, really. It'd be nice to grow that. So those are my thoughts, really. It was just mostly about who am I, what am I doing, where am I going, and they're things I'm trying to figure out right now. And maybe I can discover that through talking to you. Maybe this will help me figure things out. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd set the camera up and film something now, because there's no better time to do something than right now. So yeah, well, thanks for listening to me ramble.